to so many other places. So, welcome everyone to our weekly Tongren session. We will begin to go through the different treatments, requests we have for this week. But I wanted to check in early, make sure everybody's okay, make sure that we are broadcasting properly. All the technology is working fine. So, again, this is Tongren Distance Healing Therapy. So what we will do in about 2 minutes, we will have a breath exercise to train the breath, and then we will go through all of our treatments one by one. And here we go. So our easy protocol, which we will actually be teaching and reviewing this weekend at our Masterclass. We have 2 levels of training. If you have any experience at all with Tongren therapy, we can talk and we can figure out a way that you can also join the Masterclass if you have some experience already, so we can take as many people as possible. The Masterclass basically has a review as well as some advanced tapping strategies. So let's begin right now with our treatments. We already have someone here for relaxed habitant. So a 3-part process. In order to be thorough with our acupuncture, massage therapy, as well as our Tongren, is to do a complete body, kind of a holistic approach to the Tongren therapy. So in order to do that, we work on 3 basic parts. One is the blood flow and the brain, which is our command center. And the second is our sympathetic nervous system, which is our spine. And then the third is our parasympathetic nervous system. And welcome, Eric, to our weekly Tongren session. And welcome to Dorothy. So let's begin right away. So blood flow to the brain for people that are here or on their way. Blood flow to the brain. And we're going to first tap for less and rib muscle pain. And let me know less if the spray that I gave you, the skin recovery spray, which is basically an advanced wheatgrass therapy, is helping to calm down the nerves. And I'm just going to hopefully get one more person here. Try to get as many people as possible. So in the brain, we have very specific points. And the reason that's so powerful is because they are command points. They are points which manage large amounts of our body. So on the top of the head, we have the command points of the brain, what we call GB 19, 20, 21, 22. And hello, Esther. Good to see you. Sensory cortex, motor cortex, hypothalamus, and pituitary. And for emotions and the general tune-up, so specifically emotions, I'm going to sit back a little bit so you can all see my hands well enough. GB13 right side is for emotions. But what I want to do is, while I'm doing this, I want everybody to sit with your feet flat on the floor, palms face up. Breathe through the nose. By breathing through the nose instead of the mouth, we increase our oxygen uptake by 20%. And a good breathing technique is what I call the 4-6-6. While breathing through the nose, you breathe in, count to 4, and I'm going to go along with you. Breathe in, count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out through the nose, count to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold your breath for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we work on the brain stem command points, the medulla. And welcome to Carlos in Ecuador. Great to see you. And Ecuador is not far from Belize, I presume. Is that correct? So let's continue on with the anti-inflammation for less. Blood flow to the brain, and then blood flow to the entire spine. So if there is anyone interested in our Tongren training this weekend, let me know. So we have a really important question. When are you heading to Belize? It has been delayed, but it looks like December. So why not? It's cold here and hot there. Makes more sense. I was going in August and people were just curious. But I have an office in Belize with some folks. It is far away. Ecuador shows my geography. So you have Belize, Guatemala, and on the northern border is Mexico. That's right. So for the skin, T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 for less. So in December, I will broadcast from Belize. Have an office set up. It is off the grid, but it has wind and solar power. It also has water, which is gravity fed from the rain. So it is ready to go. So let's work specifically on the skin for less, and then the ouch points for less. Right at the bottom of the ribs on the left side. Yes, I have some friends that live in Belize, and I will be having an office in Belize, in the south. I'd love to visit Ecuador as well. And there you go, less T4 for the skin. Let's also work L1 to 5, including L3, for anyone that needs it for the prostate. It's so great to see everyone. I love our community. And for less, we will now do some grounding. And grounding is also good for emotional support. Liver 3 and kidney 1. So with any emotional issues or anything like that, check your microbiome. Make sure you're eating plenty of fermented foods, high fiber foods, always. Be well hydrated. That can make a dramatic difference. Great book called You're Not Sick, You're Not Sick, You're Thirsty by Dr. Batman Galich. Okay, let's do a little bit more on the ribs. Just the outer point area and grounding. So let's work with Esther. We were going to work on pain, bladder, and digestion. Blood flow to the brain. Brain command points. So let's work on harmonizing the central nervous system with the sensory cortex and the motor cortex, and harmonize the endocrine system with the pituitary and the hypothalamus. IG is not working. Dramatic guest. Because I see no one in IG. Instagram. So blood flow, nerve flow. So you get to look at my books. I have a new book coming out also. But I hope you find them helpful. C1 to C7 for Esther. C1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 for inflammation and pain. Inflammation also for inflamed eyes. Any inflammation, any itis. So in Belize, we'll be running food programs and Earth School. So people from all over the world can come and learn about living in this beautiful place. It's actually a rainforest, to learn how to do planting, gardening, sprouting, as I would teach, fermentation, food. So for the bladder, so we work on blood flow and nerve flow for everything. So the blood flow is T7. And then for the digestion, T7 to T12. Microbiome, T11, T12, L4, and L5. And then the nerve flow for the bladder is lumbosacral plexus, which is the source of the nerves for the lower body. And then sacrum 1 to 5 for the bladder itself. So an additional point, support point for the bladder 54, behind the knees. And vagus nerve to the digestion as well. Gut-brain axis, GB13, CV4. Nobody on Instagram. Not even Trump. Oh, that's Twitter. I'm sorry. He was banned from Twitter. Maybe Instagram as well. And grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1 for Esther. Good to see you. And I did get your information about MS, and I'm going to bring that up now because one of our folks here wants a treatment for MS, which we will do. And a tip for inflamed eyes. This is called Similacin homeopathic for the eyes. I'm at the computer too much, so I use this. They have many kinds. This one is complete eye relief. This will help your eyes a lot. So next we'll work on the eyes as well, and emotions, and a general tune-up, and MS. So blood flow to the brain. An important thing to know, as I learned from Esther, and I've seen different research, many illnesses are misdiagnosed Epstein-Barr virus. That includes MS, ALS, sometimes Lyme, chronic fibromyalgia, PCOS, ALS, any brain condition, because viruses attack nerves. And one of the things about COVID is COVID sometimes brings about the dormant Epstein-Barr virus. That's why with COVID, we've seen acceleration of conditions of nerve problems, heart problems, breathing problems. All these things, even cancers, are accelerated from COVID. So an oxygenation protocol is critical as soon as possible. So we're going to work on MS from an inflammation perspective, from a viral perspective, and a nerve perspective. Command points of the brain, GV 1920, 21, 22. And let's see, we have a phone call coming in. This is Technology Center. Now my phone is flashing. That's not a good sign. Command points of the brain stem. The occiput, the blood flow. So we want to work on, again, brain, relaxation response, C1, GB13. And we see Fran and Cheryl Ann, Carlos, Eric. And Eric, we're working with your wife. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. Antiviral. Other things which are antiviral are clay, herbs, wild indigo, echinacea, oregano, natural antivirals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. Clay baths are excellent for the virus. Alkalizing is antiviral because viruses, parasites, cancers do not survive in a oxygenated alkaline environment. So alkaline diets, oxygen therapies, light therapies. And down the legs for MS. So strong doses of vitamin B12, vitamin C, vitamin D, those are the basics for most any condition in the world, even COVID. And we have a request for working on someone with COVID, and we wish them well. They're 85 in the hospital with COVID pneumonia. So our thoughts and prayers are with your dad, Kim, or Jim Daly. And for MS, again, the nerves. CV4 for energy, for Julie as well. So how is Augustina doing? So next we will work with Catherine for the eyes and Dorothy for the eyes. And then Cheryl. So blood flow to the brain. Command points of the brain. We see our friends, brave specimen, Fran, calm civilian. So for eye leaky vessels, I maybe have mentioned it before, but there's a good product called Vein Health, which is really good for strengthening all veins and arteries. So that would be Vein Health from the Global Healing Center location. And that's used especially with COVID patients and stuff like that because the arteries can get inflammation from the excess protein from the spike proteins and the inflammation created by COVID or the vaccine. So was your father, did he also have the vaccine as well, Kim? So let's work for the eyes. And hello, Drew. Good to see you. So ouch point for the eyes. And people should be aware, people with vaccines and without vaccines, pretty much the same rate of COVID infection. There's really not a lot of difference. So let's work on the eyes, the retina area, see 1, 2, and 3, the macula area, see 1, 2, and 3. There are homeopathics for cataracts, which I've seen some good reviews. The specific name is called N-acetyl carnosine, developed through Russia and Europe, and it looks very promising for a homeopathic or herbal remedy. One company makes it, it's called Can C. But let's work with the cataracts. That's with GV20 pituitary. So for the brain, oxygen therapy like oxypowder, which is a oral ozone type of therapy, as well as inhaling frankincense infused steam as well. So let's continue to work for all the eyes. C3, nerve flow to the eyes, carotid artery, blood flow to the eyes, cranial nerves for the eyes, GV23, facial artery, carotid artery, and occipital arteries, the ouch point for the eyes, especially the left eye and the right eye, left eye wet, right eye dry. We'll also work on high blood pressure for people, including Catherine. And continue with the eyes. C3 for the eyes. High blood pressure. GV17. The medulla. T5 for the heart. And Frandy, you're coming up next. Marie, you're coming up. Get your stuff. Came within 24 hours of ordering. That was amazing. And price is better than most. Nature or natural.com, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. Also anti-inflammation for the eyes. I was told, I asked someone about their eyes, and they use eye bright. They make a tea, a liquid, and then they let it cool down and use it as an eye wash. Eye bright herbs. Microbiome, T11, T12, L4, L5. So for Cheryl and Yano C, also working for the heart, T5 and CV17. So for fatigue, check your vitamin B12 levels. Make sure you don't have constipation or gut issues. Proper absorption and elimination. Make sure those nutrients are getting through to give you energy. Make sure you're alkaline, lots of fruit and fiber-based foods. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, anti-inflammation. Also for high blood pressure as well. And the adrenals for high blood pressure, overactive adrenals, L1. Also for the eyes, I would recommend getting a castor oil eye kit, which I think would be great. Increasing circulation. I think we talked about it before. I don't know if there would be a contraindication for eye leaky vessels. So I would consult the manufacturer first. And some more with the eyes for everyone. And grounding liver 3 and kidney 1. So let's work for the brain. Augustina. And for the blood, Mumashari. Blood flow to the brain. And for the esophageal cancer. So we'll go through all 3 of those, since they are separate but connected. And hello to you, Mumashari. Blood flow to the brain. Brain stem tumor. So blood flow to the brain and then the brain stem. Let's work right on the brain stem, GV17. Really give that a lot of focus. A couple of people need our extra help. Augustina and Kim's dad, Jim Daly. Everyone needs our focus. Friend D, esophageal cancer. Wishing you the best. So just got off the phone with the doctor. She said you're okay. Is that what you mean? I bet you're okay. Blood flow to the brain. Blood flow to the brain stem. For Augustina. Vertebral artery to the spinal artery. Let's work on the oxygen system for Augustina and friend D, which is the phrenic nerve, vagus and phrenic nerve, and diaphragm. It's all about oxygen, 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 oxygen. Doing very well, blood normal and in remission. So if we can all give a round of applause to Mumashari. Round of applause. Congratulations. We'll continue to do what works. If it works, don't fix it, right? Applause. There you go. That is on 100% oxygen machine, blood machine, bipod machine. One thing just to check when you're in there, because oxygen requires carbon dioxide. They used to have carbogen machines, which had a balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide, but they should really monitor the oxygen uptake. I know that may be an extreme situation, but these machines sometimes have adjustments to make sure, because oxygen doesn't get into the body without carbon dioxide. So that balance must be maintained in order to work on this. So if that person if they're allowed to get some ivermectin or vitamin C or vitamin D or any of those things. If they're in New Hampshire, it's actually over the counter. So let's continue on. So let's work blood flow to the brain and work with Fran D for the esophagus. Oh, you're in California. Okay. If they would allow vitamin D, liposomal vitamin C, and zinc, it will stop the replication of the virus. And Instagram has lit up. Okay, blood flow to the brain, brain command points. Fran D, cool being, seborrheic keratosis, otherwise known as skin tags. Yep. You know, they can be burned off harmlessly. And you can also use clay packs overnight, and it will start to remove those as well. I would do clay packs with frankincense oil overnight, even if they're small. Use it as a band-aid or a little bandage, stuff like that. Blood flow to the brain, blood flow to the spine, T8 for the esophagus, but the neck. So we work on the trapezius, lumbosacral plexus, the brachial plexus. So next we will work on inflammation and COVID specifically. T8 for esophageal cancer, and then the oxygen therapy protocol, phrenic nerve, and CV17. And T4 for the skin and seborrheic keratoses, stiff back, T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. A really good thing for a stiff back is magnesium oil. Massage into the area. And if you're having trouble sleep, you put it on at night. It's going to also help you sleep. And belly fat, eat high density, nutrient dense green powders and green fruits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. For COVID. So keep us informed how Jim Daly is doing. The good thing is the later strains, such as the strains going around now, are milder. So that's good news, as opposed to the first strain, which was around March of 2020, which I was invited to share when I worked in New York City and in the Boston area before we even knew about COVID. I was exposed to the original COVID at that time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. COVID, lungs. Lung 1, lung 2. It's all about the lungs and the immune system. CV17 for the lungs. A laser on that area would be excellent. And we have our requests from Instagram. And grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. Blood flow to the brain. So we will work. Thank you for the comments about the body work, Asian body work, which is good. Good to see you. It was really good to see you. So important. So we're going to work on our mascot, who is Coco, lungs, heart, and arthritis. And we'll continue to work on COVID, and then we'll work on Drew for bladder and adrenals. And then and also Mumashari. Oh, good. You listened to my tape while taking blood. That's great. What a great idea. Blood flow to the brain for everyone. Command points of the brain. So one of the best tips for alkalizing is a couple of things. So that's not one, or two of the best. So alkalizing in the morning with baking soda, but an advanced baking soda is called pH adjust. It will alkalize and add oxygen to the body, reduce inflammation. Ideally, also 16 ounces of lemon water first thing in the morning. And throughout the day, probiotic foods, I should say. Command points of the brain. Command points of the brain stem. And pondering traveler. But yep, we're working on our Coco, our mascot. Blood flow to the brain, then blood flow to the spine, and T3 for the lungs. Let's work T8 again for the Frandy and the esophagus. T4 again for the skin for less. T5 for the heart. And the brachial plexus for the arthritis and for the front legs, front paws. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, anti-inflammation for Coco. Microbiome for everyone, which is anti-inflammation, improved digestion, absorption, and elimination. And for Drew, T7 blood flow, nerve flow, adrenals, adrenal health for pondering traveler, and for Drew, L1, L2. And let's work on the ADH hormone balancing. Very dehydrated, not able to retain liquids. So definitely drink, I would drink clay water, lemon water, those types of things. Green juices, all those good things. And we'll work on the bladder as well for the extreme urination. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. We work on the ADH hormones on the brain. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. Delayed sleep phase syndrome. C3 and the in-tongue, third eye area. Hypothalamus, circadian rhythms, vertebral arteries, spinal artery, T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. T1 for the bones, for Mumashari. And we also have inner sphincter muscle, pelvic floor, urogenital area. Here coming up next, T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. T7 blood flow, L2 nerve flow to the kidneys. Uqora, UQORA is a great product for urinary tract health maintenance. Carlos, yep, I'd be happy if you email me. I'll send you a link and we can set up some times. And Scott, good to see you. I have your email. You're listening in. I am going to respond to that. It's a lot of information and I'm happy to answer it, but it's something I can't take lightly. So I'll just take my time and go through the whole thing for you. So that is, and I'll try to get to that tonight to not make you wait any longer. Lumbar 1 to 5, sacrum 1 to 5. And bones, T1 for the bones. The urinary tracts, S1 to 5 for Drew. If anything, Kim, for your dad, should be super hydrated. If they can, put in some lemon into the water or some vitamin C like NRC or any of those things, just to boost his immune system as much as possible. Okay. And grounding. Liver 3 and kidney 1. Okay, so we have blood flow to the brain. So Kim, my contact phone for anyone interested is 617-276-5603 for text or and my email address as well. And if anybody's interested in the workshop, let me know. Got a good crowd already, good group of people. Blood flow to the brain for everyone. GB13 for everyone. Yep, and for Interesting Legend, if you email me, I'll send you a link. Yep, Scott, you'll be in one of our honored guests for the workshop this Saturday. The workshop is to teach people to do Tongren. It's a masterclass. It's level 2. Some people have a background already or have taken my level 1 training, but it's a level 2 workshop. Command points of the brain. Command points of the brain stem. So we'll work on 2 things. One is the bones, T1 for the bones, and GB39 for the bones. Omashari. You could join if you want, Kim. We do a review at the beginning. And then we go over some advanced points, but a lot of it is just to get together, see how people are doing, see how the tapping is going and different things, and see if we can fine tune anything, and especially give people customized protocols for themselves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. So Tongren every day. I've worked with people in COVID wards doing Tongren, and it's been helpful for them. That's the workshop. Either way, if you join or not, I use this also as a teaching modality to teach people the points they need to know and to continue to basically be empowered with a healing tool that you can work on all over the world. So continue as I'm sure you're doing, working on your dad. It's probably the only thing that can, a good secret weapon against COVID while people are in the hospital alone, unable to do even healthy stuff. But for sure, if you want to join us. Good to see you, Esther. So the bones, T1, bones, GB39, vertebral artery to spinal artery to T7 for the pelvic area, lumbosacral plexus for the pelvic area, and the urogenital area. L1 to L5, but especially S1 to S5 for urogenital area. And CV4 for the pelvic area, pelvic floor, sphincter muscles as well. That's where we lumbosacral plexus. And we have another request for your mom for glaucoma. Proper flow of aqueous humor in the eye. Another thing you can do if you're hesitant for the eyes for castor oil, put it on the base of the neck, C1, 2, and 3. That's another option. So vertebral artery for the eyes for everyone, Catherine, and we had other people for the eyes. We're going to work again on COVID and cough and cold for Cheryl Ann and Dorothy for the eyes as well. Blood flow to the brain. Ouch point for the eyes. Bienvenue pour vous. Je suis heureux à faire votre connaissance aujourd'hui. Blood flow to the brain. And Esty, good to see you. Thank you for joining. Let's work on the optic nerve, GB 23, 24 area, as well as GB 7, 8, 9 for the cranial nerve areas. Let's work on the facial nerve, trigeminal nerve, all nerves related to the eyes. The upper branch of the facial nerve, the upper branch of the facial artery, trigeminal nerve, GV17 for glaucoma, high blood pressure. And you have a question. Oh, okay. I see it. I came across Faris for a question, and I'll get to that. Vertebral artery to the spinal artery. And for the bones and bone marrow, craniosacral fluid, also good for the brain. Sphenoid bone to the tailbone. And grounding, but microbiome for everyone. T11, T12, L4, L5. And let's work on the vagus nerve from GB12 to CV17 area for the heart. All the people were asking for heart and lung. Lung 1, lung 2, also for the lungs, especially for COVID. Mammary arteries, those areas for breast cancers. CV12, pancreas, stomach areas. CV4 for the abdominal area. And down to some super points. Stomach 36, spleen 6, liver 3, and kidney 1. So we'll do a Qigong for everyone. Everyone take a nice deep breath, breathe in. And we do have one more. Tap for the shoulders, elbows, and hands for everyone, including Jenny Finn. Blood flow to the brain, anti-inflammation at the shoulders. So we work on the scapula, the shoulder release point, GB21, gallbladder 21, and then the nerves to the shoulders and the elbows and the hands, brachial plexus, and trace it down to the hands themselves. So thank you for joining us, Jenny. And grounding for everyone. So everyone just sit, relax, feet flat on the floor, palms face up, if that is comfortable. And we will charge the battery, the lower dantian, just below the belly button. If you put your mind there, you'll feel an increase in chi, possibly warmth, heat, or tingling. With every breath, put your mind in that area, charge the whole body full of chi and energy. And grounding for everyone. And we will play the entrainment clearing tone. Thank you to everyone for giving me this opportunity to share this time with you. Blessings to all of you. Hoping for health and wellness for everyone, and I'll do whatever it takes to support all of you and continue on your healing journey to recovery. Thanks very much and have a great day.